Have you ever been in a season where you're doing the most, you still feel like you're not doing enough? I know we got some people out there, they're doing whatever they have to do to get to that next level, whether financially, in their career, in their business, but it's just not happening for them, and they just feel like they're not doing enough. Those are the people I want to talk to today, man.
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Let's do it,
Can
man.
we do it?
Absolutely, bro.
I think we got some steps here, man. We came up. All right, so the 4 steps, if you're feeling like you're not doing enough, number 1, are you asking yourself, am I enough? So we're talking about the core foundation of what's not doing enough looks like.
Right.
Number 2 is, am I comparing myself to other people? You know, we all about purpose and again, doing the things you're called to do. Number 3, expectations and goals. You know, are they clear? And number 4, we're gonna talk about counting your wins, man. Ready to get into it, bro?
Let's go.
All right, so number 1, man. I want to talk about number 1.
Number 1.
Yeah. What you got on it?
Ask yourself, am I doing enough? Or ask yourself, am I enough?
Right.
I think, man, before you really can start to really gain any traction, right, in terms of like feeling fulfilled,
right,
you have to define what enough looks like for you, because it's different for everybody. So just what does it look like for you to feel like that you are enough? Right. What are some of those qualities? If you had to put it into words, right? What would you say that you need to feel personally to feel like you're enough?
So number 1, man, I have to feel fulfilled. You know.
So how do you feel fulfilled though?
So I can tell you how I feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
And I know we have a variety of different listeners out here. I feel fulfilled. Really, when I have tight communication and relationship with God, because He is faithful. Because here's the thing, man. Like, I think we have to go back to step number 1. Who we are a product of. We are human beings. One of the words for Yahweh is being or to be. Yahweh, when He told Moses, I am, when Moses asked God, who should I tell the people you are? He said, I am that I am. Or in Hebrew, he said Yahweh. That means I exist, and we're called human beings. Right. You know what I mean? Like, we exist. So I think we need to go back to our Creator, like who created us, and what did He create us for? Then we began to go into this segue or in the direction of purpose, so that we can become fulfilled. It reminds me of Moses, Exodus. This is not the scripture of the day. It's just foundation for what we're talking about. But he asks God, he said, who am I to go to Pharaoh, right, and to get your people out of Egypt, and in that moment, if you really look at it, he was talking about it was coming from a place of self-doubt, right, not feeling like he's enough. But God didn't reassure him either. He didn't. Man, let's go into it, man. Yeah, man. God didn't reassure him.
So what did God say to him?
God didn't say, you are awesome. You are amazing. He didn't say none of that, man. Like, and this is one problem I have with New Age, man, because affirmation is good. I get it, and even my therapist say, use affirmations, and she told me why. I'm gonna get into that probably later, man. But today, man, I'm gonna just talk about why God, or what God say, why He didn't So this is Exodus chapter 3, and I'm gonna start at, and we'll go 2 more. He said, okay, cool. We'll start at 6. Exodus 3, chapter 3, verse 6 says, moreover, he said, this is God talking to Moses. When Moses ran into the burning bush or whatever, this is God calling Moses out. Like, especially, like, that's another another thing too, like if you're not feeling like you're doing enough or feeling fulfilled, this may be God's way of drawing you or pulling you closer to him. So because this is, and I just got that revelation, this was God calling out to Moses through a burning bush, and he said, moreover, he said, I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look upon God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the oppression of my people. So after God called out to Moses through a burning bush, again, he drew him closer to him, the burning bush. You know, it may be a fire in your belly that you're not really, what is it, flaming or fanning, or, you know, it may be the Lord calling out to you to fulfill a destiny or a purpose.
Right.
So now he gave Moses a purpose. He said, my people have surely seen oppression. I surely seen oppression of my people who are in Egypt, and have heard their cry because of their taskmaster, for I know their sorrow. So I have come down to deliver them out of the hands of Egyptians. Now this is a big ask of God.
Right.
You know what I mean? He's asking him to go to that's like going and saying, hey, yo, we having some problems, you know, with the U.S. I need you to go to President, you know what I mean? Go to Joe Biden,
right?
And you know, handle that situation for me. I'm like, Lord, man, come on, I just came from the streets, man. And you know, you want me to go to President Biden? Think about that.
That's real though.
You know what I mean? Think about that. But this is a big ask of God. How
many people would answer that calling, right?
And that's
how many people would like, man, if God called you to do that today,
right,
to go talk to the president of the U.S.,
right,
would you go do it?
Exactly. So even the burning bush, if y'all read Exodus chapter 3, read that whole chapter. God called out to Moses through a burning bush. My question is, how many people saw that burning bush? Or did it only appear to Moses? You know, Moses, was he in tune or spiritually aware of the burning bush?
Right.
In that case, how many people were asleep before and didn't see the burning bush? You know what I mean? So because he saw the burning bush, that calling was for him. You know what I mean? So like, what's burning in your belly, man? Like, Jesus. So this is what Moses said. Did you finish, bro? Okay, cool. Okay. Moses said to God, indeed, when I come to I skipped them. Okay. The most important part that I was getting to, but Moses said to God, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and that I should bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? So this is a question that we all ask ourselves. Who am I to do this big thing?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or maybe we're not feeling fulfilled because we've already received our calling, but don't have the faith to do what it is that we're called to do. You know, because we're asking ourselves, who am I to do this thing, right? God didn't reassure him at all. He didn't say, you're great, you're mighty, you're awesome, like all of those affirmations. What he said is, I will certainly be with you.
I got you back.
I got you, bro. I got you. And he
trust me.
And he said, and this shall be a sign to you that I have sent you when you have brought the people out of Egypt. You shall serve God on this mountain. And that was verse 12. So here it is. Moses was having doubts. You know, who am I to do this great thing? Again, God didn't reassure him. He said, I will be with you. And I ask questions when I read the scripture. I said, God, why didn't you reassure him? You know, and he told me, because I want a relationship.
Oh, so you can't have, because he would, by him not agreeing with them, does that mean that I guess Moses had to lean on to him a little bit more?
Yeah.
Then
he had to. Sometimes in life we can't figure it out because it's not meant for us to figure it out.
Right.
It's meant to us to go to God and to lean on him because God wants relationship. And we miss out. We're so focused on the task when it comes to purpose, which we are called to do certain things. But I believe that the bigger purpose is the person you become through relationship on doing those certain things, or while achieving, or on the journey of doing those things. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I believe that God didn't really affirm him. Like, you're great. I called you to do this. You're strong. All he said is, I'll be with you. Like, I'm with you, bro. Like, have you ever like been with somebody at work, or you know what I mean, and y'all going through like, yo, I'm in the trenches. Like, you as a leader, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you reassure them like, hey, you can do this by yourself. You're great. You're awesome. You know, I'm in the trenches with you. You know what I mean? So this is what God is saying. So again, going back to the part of not feeling like you're enough, maybe it's a call for a relationship. And I know I'm getting into this inspirational piece like in the very beginning of the podcast, but we have to start there for a foundation. Like maybe am I being called into a deeper level of relationship with God before I can do anything?
Dang.
You know what I mean? So
bars.
Bars. There we go. So that was number one, man.
Yeah, I got a different look on that.
Let's talk about it.
And I don't know, this is maybe contradictory. I don't know, but like
we're gonna bring it together.
What if okay, all right, because again, the first question is, am I enough, right?
Right.
And how do you becomes, okay, how do you know you're enough?
Mm-hmm.
Does happiness play a role into that? Like, all right, like, or not happiness, but like when you talk about fulfillment, like liking to do it.
Joy.
Like, it's something that you like this is something I like to do.
Right.
Like, it's enough because I like to do it. Could that be a part of that, or maybe not?
I believe it is, man. And you mentioned happiness too. I would say joy, because joy is internal. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the conditions can be bad, but because you're created to do this thing, and you're created to have this relationship with God, it brings joy. And in return, joy brings happiness.
But it's not a requirement.
What, happiness?
Well, yeah, like joy or feeling like you should do it like that. Because did Moses feel like this was for him? I think it in the beginning. Yeah, let's call it the beginning, because you if you don't, okay, for example, right? If we lay out these steps, right, and okay, first step is get in tune with God, right, and then say that it's the second step of knowing that you're enough, right, is does it feel right? Does it feel right? And maybe I don't know, but like maybe man, like you don't it ain't gonna always feel right at the beginning, right? But eventually in the process, as you go through it, as you get to get more comfortable with it, it becomes more like, oh man, I don't know why I waited so long to do this.
So I got a question in regarding to feeling right. What is your definition of feeling right?
Oh, that's a good question too.
Because I have an idea, like from personal experience, like when we started Be More to Do More, it's uncomfortable, right? But it felt right, right? You know what I mean? So, so I don't know, like what's your definition of feeling right?
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to the first thing where it's like, okay, am I hurting somebody?
Oh, okay.
Am I lying, cheating, scamming, stealing something from somebody or whatever? Right. And maybe if it's any of that stuff, and I think you just have to decide on is this again. It kind of goes back to that thing you said, because maybe, but just is it all? Like, is it in God's like sphere of
their purpose,
perfection? I guess in a sense.
I think to go even deeper, I think one may not feel fulfilled because they are lying, stealing, cheating, you know what I mean? They're doing all the things that they weren't created for, So they may be doing the most and not getting anywhere, because they're not purposed for that. You know what I mean? And they can because we're not stupid, man. Like, when God gave us life, he gave us his breath, so how can I say this without sounding blasphemous. We are God, like Jesus said. Jesus said it himself. Isn't it not written in your law? I said that ye are gods. We are God, like, you know. He gave us a soul. He created us in their image and after their likeness. So we're not stupid. We can sense when we are not on the right path. I mean, from my experience, I don't know about your experience, but we would sense when something is wrong or if we're just burning out because we're not on a path that God has set out for. So I believe that's where all the unhappiness, unfulfilled, or feeling like I'm not doing enough. I feel like, personally, in my opinion, if they're not on the right path, you know, those things are the substance of it.
Right.
So, does that make sense?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. I'm good.
We're good on that?
I'm good on that.
So we got all the heavy stuff out the way. It was burning, man. I had to get it out there, man. That was my burning bush. What's your burning bush?
What's your burning bush?
What's your burning bush, man? Let's all right, number 2. Wait, what my notes, man? Number two. Are you comparing yourself to other people?
What they say, thief is the no, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
Hey, stay off IG. Stay off IG.
Hey, man. Yeah.
Stay off of social media.
Right.
Like, I'm telling you, like, that stuff will lead you to the Great Depression.
He said the Great Depression.
Like, for real, man. Because, like, you see, you know, this person doing this person doing that.
Right.
And, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I be looking at some folks and be like, I know I make more money than you.
Right. Yeah.
But you doing all this, like, I ain't even doing that.
I'm
like,
a little jealous.
You know, like, I ain't gonna say I'm jealous, but like, how can you afford to do that?
Right.
Without like on some type of payment plan, or maybe that's okay. I'll just, you know, but just like sometimes, man, like, don't, you know, when you kind of compare yourself to people like that,
right?
And you look at like, man, I wish I could do that. You start to put yourself in situations that honestly God don't want you to be in.
That's true.
But you seeing this person do it, like, man, I should be living that type of lifestyle. Like, I should be, you know, I should be able to do this and I should be able to do that. And, and you end up really screwing yourself over because now you got, you know, this extra problem or this extra weight that you really shouldn't even have in the first place.
That's
so
true. You adding burden onto yourself.
Yeah. Like, so that comparison piece will, you know, it leads obviously to unhappiness and whatever.
Right.
But then you even worsen your situation trying to keep up with the Joneses per se.
That's true. Man, I look at social media now, like, everybody got an agenda. I feel like I sound like you, man. on the last podcast, everybody wants something.
Everybody wants something, man. Everybody wants something.
I feel like people got an agenda when they come to social media. Like, either they want to be viewed in a certain light. Even with like what I do with media, you know, like, it's some influence out there that's just really putting on, man. Like,
a lot of influencers out there putting on.
You know what I mean? So sometimes I can look at them like, dang, man, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, you know. But then I have to come to a realization that, you know, I'm actually living life out here.
Right.
You know, and not on social media. And a lot of people, or a lot of influencers are living for social media.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think when we compare ourselves to that, oh man, we can also fall into you remember how I mentioned jealousy? But not even jealousy, we can fall into covetousness.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I mean? I want what they got.
Yeah.
But you don't know, first of all, who they're serving to get that and what they had to go through to get that. So now your life is in shambles. You're anxious. You're going through anxiety because you're seeing things, but you don't know what's attached to them. You see what I'm saying? Yep. And you're beginning to learn to find out, oh, this person is serving this. And now, see, it's one of the devices of the enemies, man. Like, that's why you got to be careful what you're looking at and what you're comparing yourself to. I feel like this is going far left, but it's okay.
No, I mean it's going where it's supposed to go, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I think you're 100% right. Where when you again start to compare yourself to others, it just man, it just you go on this rabbit hole of
that's true
of just trying to compete and it was so deep. Some people are living to basically create content versus creating content off of their lives.
That's true. That's
true.
And
and that in itself is like it is an agenda. People do have an agenda. Like they do want to be painting a certain way.
Right.
Like all right, hey, we're gonna go on this trip, not so we can have fun. I mean, yeah, we want to do that too. Right. But really, man, we gotta get some new pics. We gotta get some new, whatever. Right.
Fresh like content. Yeah.
Yeah. What Drake say? I know a girl that.
I know exactly what you're talking about. What he say?
Oh man, don't give me the line, but
that's a whole bar too.
Well, actually, that whole verse though. Actually, think about it, but like I said, I know a girl that's not happy until she picks up a phone. Right. Like, you really living a terrible life until it's time to post, and now whatever. Right. But they also, I know a girl that takes pics and then basically keeps them later and posts them like she's still on the go. Like. Right. And it ain't real, bro. Like it ain't real, but it's people. Like it's a lot of. I hate to say people, but like it's a lot of us, right? It's a lot of us out there. Yeah. That man, like, we have this idea of what we think it should look like. That's true. To be successful or what we feel like people want to see or whatever, right? Like and it's not, and sometimes it's not authentic. And
that's true.
And that again leads to you not feeling like you're enough because
hey, my boy bringing it back. Why he bringing it back? My boy a thought leader out here, man. Come on, man. My boy a thought leader in out here, man.
But that's real though, man. Just it's unfortunate, right? It's unfortunate, but like, dude, like. Again, like comparison is a thief of joy, right? Like, like you are enough, right? But you don't think you're enough because you're going off of what you think somebody has.
That's true.
Tell them to start posting their bank accounts. Let's see what it look like.
Man, hey man, you're gonna expose a lot of people out here, man.
And then when you post your bank accounts, I want you to post your reoccurring, like the stuff that you got coming out every single month. Like, cause it's like again we like. You may not, and like, a lot of people, man, like you may not have, be going on these lavish trips or me going on whatever, right? But you also don't. You're not set up on a payment plan.
That's true.
Like you're not like your debt to income ratio isn't off. Right. So it's not, and it's not even about, and I don't go into the financial side of it, but like, it's not even about how much money you make. Right. It's about how much money you keep.
That's true. Yeah.
And is your lifestyle more than your income? Right. Yeah. And some people, they want to live this lifestyle of $100,000 lifestyle. Right. But they make 60 grand. But if you live a 40 grand lifestyle, man, you'll be living like I give you an example, man. I'm gonna move on. I remember making what was it, 55 grand a year, right, and I was living by myself. My rent was like $900, something like that, right? At that time, I thought I was a lot, right? And I was like I was like stacking my money, and stacking for these, however many months I was there, and I was like, man. And when I got into my next position, I was like, I had all this money stacked from my previous position, right? And I was like, man, and it's still stacking, right? It was still stacking at the time, and I was like, man, I really ain't gotta, make another dollar. Like I could stay at, 55, 60 grand. And be fine. Right. And because my lifestyle, because I had my lifestyle, so I came from, I was sleeping on the floor, right? Before I moved, right? I would I literally just bought a bed like a few months before that, but I was sleeping on the floor. I was, my rent was like $500.
Right.
Like a townhouse. Like it was, not really the hood, but
Right.
kind of, like it was, like I felt safe,
I'm good.
But, you might invite somebody over, they might be like, oh, you live there, whatever, right?
Right.
But my point is, I was making this amount of money, but my lifestyle was a lot less.
Right.
Versus now, it's like, you make a little bit more money, you start to buy like oh shoot, like I fell into the trap.
Right.
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 Dang. Okay. Now I gotta rearrange some
You
things.
was also single too, though, right?
Yeah, I was single, but yeah.
Family, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yeah,
hey. I know about that. But also too, man. Like to speak to attest to what you're saying. Like back when you was living in an apartment. You also a brother who only posts once a month on social media. You know what I mean? So like it just, I'm saying this to say this. Like I'm saying that to say this is that a lot of us, we do compare like, oh, I want that. We see social media and be like, oh, I want that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I want to, but now you're trying to maintain or obtain these things, and it's causing your money to dwindle, and you end up in a negative, at the end of the month because you're trying to keep up with what social media got going on.
Or you're not even in a negative. Your account's just not growing.
Oh yeah.
It's like almost flat every month, and it's like, man, like I'm doing all this hard work,
right?
And you don't realize that. Oh, you paying $30 every single week,
right, to
get your nails done.
That's true.
You're paying $250 every single month to get your hair done.
Right.
You're paying $15 on a vape.
Right.
Or you going out every weekend and you want to getting like you spending $20 at the club. Right. Every week, $80 a month. Like. It's kind of like almost like what Jarvis was kind of saying. Like you just don't realize like that you spending all this money, right? That's going into this one photo that you're trying to capture, this one moment that you're trying to capture.
That's crazy.
And it's like it's eating you up.
You on that hamster wheel is. I can just see that hamster wheel just going faster. Yep. You trying to keep up, man. But that's all a part of comparison, man. Yep. But I want to talk about like what about in leadership, man? Like in your career or business owners. I think that. To me, like I mentioned before, in media, I would compare myself to somebody else who, not knowing what they had to do or what they're going through or even knowing their backing. So I learned in the YouTube class, they was like, no, it wasn't even a YouTube class that I learned this from. Excuse me. It was an influencer. I took one of his classes, and he was the first one I heard to say this. He said, take advantage of what you have advantage of. He was like, if you're a good speaker or if you're a good editor or if you're good, he was like, no, use that to capitalize, like in media or whatever, whatever area. And I was like, dang, man, here it is. I'm trying to do what this person is doing and what that person is doing. And I'm forgetting about what I'm really good at and finding a way to capitalize off of what I'm really good at just because I'm comparing myself. So I'm missing out. Yep. You know what I mean? Yep. So I, just to bring it back to that point, like in my business, I had to kind of like refocus. Yeah. And go back to like my strengths or whatnot.
Yeah, 100%. And when you talk about the leadership side, right? There's multiple leadership styles. Right. Yeah. Right. You got the passive leader. Right. You got the more direct style leader. Right. You got all the different assessments. You got the D, the I, the S, the C. Right. Depending on whatever. Right. But like that's another thing. Right. Because like you can be more of leading through care, right? But you see this person that's a little more dominant, right, and they're getting better results. And you're like, man, maybe I just need to be meaner.
Yeah, I've been there too because I'm the nice guy, man. But I've been there like, yo, I need to be. It didn't work out for me.
And it's not that you need to be meaner or you need to be more direct. It's not that, or like you don't need to be a hammer. It's just that you need to figure out how to use your care to move people. That's true. The way that you want them to move, right? And And it's just, it's really, I mean, and I always feel like that's your superpower, right? Like, it's how you can relate to people,
right?
Especially in leadership, and
right.
So don't look at somebody else's style.
True.
Like, find somebody that's similar to your style, that leads similar to you,
right?
And then just figure out what they're doing that's different than what you're doing, so that way you can enhance your superpower.
Yes.
And instead of it being one of those things where you're just trying to create a whole another person, and they look at you like,
right,
who is this dude? Like
it come off fake too.
Yeah,
you could tell it's fake.
You're not a wooer, right? And you come in every day, and you come in just randomly. Hey guys, hey, how you doing? Hey, you're doing great today. Like, Negro, what?
Right,
like,
right.
No, like, just like they gonna look at you like you're crazy, right? You can't.
That's true.
So you have to be able to figure out what your style is now, and then again have somebody to be able to model yourself after to enhance on that style.
That's true. Boom. That was number 2.
That was number 2.
Okay. Are we on to number 3?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. Number 3. Setting expectations and goals. I want you, because I know you're good.
Yeah,
you're good. You're good at this one.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
Hold on.
Let's talk about it.
There we go.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. All right. If you feel like you're not doing enough or you're not enough,
right,
you probably don't have the right bar set or the right parameters set up around your achievements.
That's true. This has been my problem forever, bro. Nah, go ahead. I still struggle with that, bro. Like, I do. Go ahead.
So, and this is how I like to look at it, right? I'm income based. I mean, I'm profit based, right? I make my money based on certain. I have to have a certain threshold to make the money that I want to make, right?
Right.
So I have this spreadsheet, and I have, okay, this is what we hit. This is what I need to hit to be able to make my target pay.
Right.
And this is where my goals are, where I want to hit, right? So
right.
There's a difference between having expectations and goals.
Okay.
So your expectations need to be your bare minimum. I have to hit this.
Oh, okay.
And when I hit this, it's a good thing.
Okay.
Right?
That's a good indication.
It's a good indication, right?
Right.
And then you have your goals where, yes, I hit my expectation, but this is where I really want to be at.
Right.
Like, what I'll really be comfortable if I can hit this number.
Makes sense.
I need 10 customers. Okay, if I need 10, if I get 8.
Right.
All right, that's not gonna be enough, right? So I have to hit 10 as my expectation. But if I get 15, I'll really be able to reinvest and, buy some more supplies.
Right.
Really do something, a little bit more, enhance the brand a little bit.
Makes sense.
And, but I'm going to be happy with the 10. And that's the part where people mess up at, is that they hit their expectation. And they don't feel like they're doing enough because they had this high goal.
Right.
They made their expectation their goal.
Yeah.
So when they don't hit their goal, they're depressed.
Yeah.
It leads to depression.
See, that's me though. So I know who I am, right? I'm a big picture, big all ideas type of guy. So I have to really hone in on discipline myself
right.
to set clear expectations.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Because I frustrate myself like real quick, like, no, I need to be at 1 million tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
You know what I mean? Like, I need to be at 1 million tomorrow. But, I understand though, what I'm learning now as I get older is that my expectations should be set. And it's not for the sake of how I want to say this. It's not for the sake of expectations, but for the sake of the journey to meet the expectation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's about your sanity.
Yeah.
Cause you're gonna quit before you're gonna quit before you get to where you want to go.
Right.
If you don't have those minimal things that you know you need to hit.
Yeah.
And if your goals are too lofty or your expectations are too lofty.
Right.
Like you're never gonna feel happy because, man, you know, I wanted to have, and I give you an example, right? So story time, right?
Hold on. Wait.
Story time.
There we go.
So I was I've been a area manager for a few years now, right?
Okay.
3 years, going on 3 years now at this point. And I've never hit a 9, like as a collective, right? Mm-hmm. I've never had a 90% completely satisfied number, right? 90% of people that are customer service score, right?
Right.
And I could feel, and there's a point in my career like, man, we're 89, like we kept putting up 89s.
Right.
And I had to really look at myself like, no, you need to be happy about that 89 because I was like getting so caught, and then I because I'm a direct communicator, right? And I would be like, you know, like I would, you know, push the team even harder and harder and harder,
right?
And I would do this and just do more and more and more,
right?
And yeah, but like don't get me wrong, those things, you know, help for sure. Mm-hmm. But what I realized is that I started doing it out of like trying to hit a number,
right,
versus embracing what it was truly about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it make a lot of sense.
You know?
Right.
And I think, and I'm not saying that I was doing this, but what I see sometimes, I see people is they have these high expectations that really should be goals.
Right.
Right. But what happens is they don't reach them, and then that's when they start to do unethical things.
Right.
Just trying to do anything to get to that number. Right. And then they put themselves in a situation where I'm gonna have to walk out the door. Unfortunately.
You gotta go.
You gotta go.
So I think my problem is, because I struggle with, like I say, it's something that I struggle with. I think it's the amount of patience I should have with myself, because I may have expectations and goals, but I have very high expectations on myself. You know what I mean? So what I tend to do is overestimate the time that I will accomplish my expectations in, or underestimate. I will overestimate. So I want to do something in 1 year that should take 5.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And when the 1 year's up, I get discouraged. Like, not discouraged. I beat myself up. That's my drug or something that I battle with. I just beat myself up. But I'm learning now to be more patient with myself and just to give myself some time. Right. And I think that goes back to the goals. I have the expectations, but the goals are like not clear. So for me, I know that my goals have to be clear. Okay, 5 years, I want to be here. My goal is to be here, but I'm gonna set these minor expectations, you know, each month, each year, whatever. So I think that's like what I deal with the most. So that's what I'm learning, man. And then like just to be patient with myself. If I don't get it right away, give myself some time to learn it, to understand it, to comprehend it, and, you know, just to learn along my journey. Yep. You know, so those things have to be clear for me. My expectations have to be clear for me, and my goals have to be clear for me. And the difference between them both, because honestly, learned this when we started working together. You know, he's like, all right, what's the goal? What's the expectation? I'm like, bro, what? I thought it was the same thing, man. What you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, what? I expect to see my goals. You know what I mean? Like, what? That's my expectation. But again, setting like a low not a low standard, but a low number.
What you need to get done.
What like priority. Yeah. You know, like, okay, I want to hit this number. it's necessary to reach my goals in the future. Just
or to keep it going. It's necessary to keep it going.
Yeah, the consistency, and I think that's why a lot of people fall off too, because they don't have these things are not clear for them. Right. And also, this is why I believe that a lot of people burn out from doing too much, but not achieving enough because these goals and expectations are not clear. So they're doing multiple things, different things that don't have nothing to do with the thing they should be doing. So it's just not clear, and they get discouraged. Man, I'm doing too much, but I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
Yep. So define that today. Doobies, all my doobies out there, right?
Doobies.
Define what are your expectations. What are the minimal things that you need to hit, and then what are the things that you want to hit, right? What are those goals? Right. So expectation is your need. Your goal is your want, and be happy when you hit your need, your expectations.
Bars. Boom. I think we got one more. The last one. I struggle with this one too. I think the last two I need to work on. Count your wins. And when we was talking about this, man, like we was trying to figure out how to put this, like count your wins, learn from your wins, whatever, but make sure you acknowledge your wins. Yeah, man.
Yeah. This is probably one of the more key things because, again, like when we talk. My goal today is to keep you in the fight. Period. Right. And as long as you're in the fight, you got a chance to come out on top.
That's true.
But when you don't count your wins, are not even aware that you won.
Right. Yeah. Like, wait, hold on. You gotta let that sit, man. You gotta let that sit. My man said you're not aware that you won. Y'all gotta let that sit, man. Yeah. Just pause there for a minute.
And it's kind of like you were saying, like about you trying to do 5 years worth of work, and get a 5-year result in year one.
Yeah, right.
And man, I see it all the time, man. Where we want to have, we want to have this result,
right?
But not enough time has passed by. Right. It's like a seed, right? Like,
you gotta let it.
Like you plant a seed, you can't expect the seed to grow.
That's true.
Overnight, into a tree, right? Like no, like you have to give it time, and then when and understand me when I say this, right? You had the idea of planting this seed,
right?
That is a win in itself.
Boom.
You planted the seed, like you dug the dirt up to create a hole for the seed.
Right.
That is a win.
Yeah, because you've now completed the first step.
You put the seed in the ground. That is a win.
Bars.
You cover the seed up. That is a win.
Bars.
You water it. That is a win.
Bars.
Like, don't discount your victories.
Don't do it.
Like you crushing your own like ability to do even greater things.
That's true.
Because you're not appreciating the small wins and the small things that are happening in your day, in your life.
Right.
So you have to be able to stay in the game, and the way that you stay in the game is you count those small wins.
Man, I think that go back to the last episode though of gratitude. You know what I mean?
For sure.
I think, especially like in certain parts of our community, we have this way of thinking, like nothing is enough. If you got the mindset that nothing is enough, you would never do or be enough. It just won't happen. So if you can learn to appreciate planting that seed, if you can learn to appreciate, digging up soil for the seed, because that takes work. That takes work. Not everybody can do that right. And planting the seed, if you can't appreciate that, and watering the seed, you can't appreciate that, you would never feel like you're doing enough. You'll never feel like you're enough because that's how you think. Nothing is never enough. You know what I mean? So.
And that's what we had the what am I doing right journal. right? I mean, let's be real, right? Like that's why it was created.
Right, that's
because
true.
we realized that not enough people are counting their wins. They're not going back and assessing the things that went right in their week, in their month, in their year, in their whatever, right?
Right.
And that allows you to be able to continue. It's building blocks. So,
man,
you know, there's a lot of things that you know are put in your way or put together for you to be able to win.
Right.
And you gotta be able to take advantage of those things.
That's true, man. Now I'm feeling like I should have had the book here.
Oh, don't worry. You know, I'll keep mine.
Hey, man, my man brought the book, man. Oh, man.
Yeah, man.
After redesigning, and we're going through a lot of struggles with that. We got to get this going, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But what am I doing right?
What am I doing right?
What am I doing right?
So ask yourself that today, doobies. All my doobies out there, right? Ask yourself today, right? What am I doing right? Like, what is your big goal that you want to accomplish?
Right.
And what did you do right today?
Right.
And build on that, right? Do the same thing tomorrow.
Right.
And then you do one other thing, and then you build on that. You do those two things, and then you do another thing.
That's true.
And by the end of the week, you've done 5 good things.
Right. I want to go even further. When you do that, reward yourself, man. You know, like go get some ice cream or, you know, add extra pepperoni on your pizza if you like that, you know. Whatever, man. The smaller things, man, just reward yourself for doing the right thing, you know, and counting your wins or whatever. Sprinkles
are for winners. Also. Lyric of the week.
Oh my God! You should.
And this is being in America, right? We don't sometimes it's an American trait, in a sense, to want to do more or want to be more to do more, right?
Right.
And this is the lyric of the week.
Okay.
Right. A man's greed can't see the things that he's already has.
Ooh.
Jack Harlow.
Man.
And sometimes am I doing enough?
Right.
And our lack of feeling like we're doing enough comes from our greed to want to have more, right? And that's and sometimes it's greed, sometimes it's, you know, whatever, right? Desire, whatever you want to call it. But in my opinion, right, it becomes greed when you're not thankful for what you have.
See,
that's it.
That's a whole nother topic, man. All right, so I just want to go back over it, man. So if you're feeling like you're doing too much but not enough, you first have to ask yourself, do I feel like I'm enough? And that's number 1. Number 2 is, am I comparing myself to others? Number 3 is, am I setting expectations and goals, and are they clear? And number 4 is, am I counting my wins? We're going to end it on that, man. Y'all be sure to y'all like, subscribe, share this information. Hit the darn bell.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell, man. Let's get this information out of here, and we out.
We out.
All right.
Peace. What happened?
The last time you told somebody to keep their head up because you concerned about them. Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about them. Going hard for the game, showing love, don't tolerate.